Hi, it's Tom. Welcome to Talking Real Money, here every single day to help you do better with your money, your finances, your emotions, and put money in its place. That's how I like to look at it. So today, a little different tack. We're going to be talking about some consumer issues that we've seen have come up. And to help us do that, he just came. What's with the cape? He's got a cape on. He's superhero. It's ConsumerMan Herb Weisbaum joining us here in the Talking Real Money studios.
Hello,
Look
Tom.
at you. You look amazing.
You know what the dry cleaning bills are to clean that cape?
Can't even imagine.
I can't either.
You used to see him on television. You're
still on TV in
okay,
Seattle.
Still on radio, television, and of course, checkbook.org. You can read all this stuff there. So take advantage of all that. And he's been kind enough to be on the podcast, be part of retirement, et cetera, et cetera. So, but there's always these issues. So I'll give you my background with the airline industry, which has had a couple of unhappy conclusions. Last summer, I went to Europe. And coming back at Heathrow Airport and waiting for British Airways to fly us to Seattle. And they told us the planes, they made up something. You're going to get on a couple hours late for this. Okay, fine. So we finally get on the plane about 2.5 hours late. Fine, that's fine. And then they said, okay, we're ready to go. Here go those engines. And they started on the tarmac, and they said, no, something's broken. We got to go back to the repair place. Okay, so this went on for about 8 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, a long time in the plane. And then they finally said, after I asked several times, look, should I rebook somewhere else? No, don't worry about that. This plane's going to go. And then they finally said, it's going to be, if we leave now, it's too late to get to Seattle. The gates close. They don't let you land after a certain period of time. Sorry, you're out of luck. And then it was the mad rush for the gate to the agents to try and figure out. Anyway, it was messy. We had to fly through Canada on the way home. So I have no love lost for airlines, although I think they do fill a purpose. But you've had a recent experience that was worse than that, because at least I kind of knew I was going to go home. In your case, is like, what might happen with Delta Airlines?
Yeah, this was kind of scary. Deb and I were over in the United Kingdom visiting my cousin Melvin, and we had a wonderful time in the London area. Get to Heathrow Airport, and the kiosk where you get your boarding pass asked for me to scan my credit card, the one that I had purchased the ticket with 3 months earlier, that I left at home, because I don't travel with all my credit cards, as many people do not travel with all of their credit cards.
They might take one, they might take two, but they don't take all of them, or whatever it is. Sure.
And there was never any notice with all the email I got from Delta or when I booked the tickets. As far as I can tell, there was no notice that said, hey, bring this credit card along with you. You're going to need it at certain airports.
Sure.
So we get upgraded to a supervisor. And she says, where's your credit card? I said, it's at home. And like 12 times, it's at home. I didn't bring the credit. You didn't bring your credit card? No. Okay, well, what are my options? Well, you cannot take the flight and spend more time in London. You can buy 2 brand new one-way tickets to Seattle.
How much?
I priced them. She didn't give me a price, but I looked on the web. It would be $6,000 total.
Oh, that's it,
$6,000.
Wow.
Or you can have somebody get me a picture of the credit card, and then I can give you your boarding passes.
So somebody could get... You wouldn't have to have it anymore, but just a picture of it?
That's what they said.
That's crazy.
So I called my good neighbor, Sam.
Good Lord.
Who is good neighbor.
That's a good... I would say great actually. Yeah,
and I had no idea what time it was back here in Seattle, because I was freaking out in London. Of course,
yeah.
He answers the phone, hello? Sam, did I wake you up? Yeah, dude, it's 3 o'clock in the morning.
I'm the guy to call at 3 in the morning, as you know. Not Sam, but anyway.
And so I said, well, now that you're up...
You're here.
Could you break into my house legally? I gave him the codes to the garage door. And he took them and sent them the pictures. And
wait, he did this for you in the middle of the night?
Yeah, and he got a really nice box of Harrods chocolates.
Okay, I should be.
So I said to the supervisor, "Does this happen?" And she said, "Oh yeah, we have this. This commonly happens.
What?
Parents send their kids over and they don't have their credit card, or something like that. You know, or a scenario where you're a business traveler and the corporate office buys a ticket, you never have the credit card. Or imagine you're trying to be safe and you use a virtual credit card number, so the merchant never sees your actual credit card. So if I'd used a virtual credit card number, Tom, I could have actually brought the credit card, but it wouldn't have been the credit card number that Delta Airlines received. So I said, why are you doing this? I have a passport. I have a driver's license.
You know
I
it's
have the
me.
confirmation code.
Yeah, you know it's me.
I already flew over here.
Oh.
She said, we're doing this, sir. The policy is to protect you, Mr. Weisbaum, from credit card fraud. To which I said, that's the bank's job, not the merchant's job.
Good point.
And that was the line I kept getting. Wrote Delta Airlines, told them of my situation, both as a passenger and as a consumer reporter.
Yeah, right.
And basically they sent me a one-sentence email with a link to a page that says things you might want to know before you go. and it talked about TSA,
right.
and it talked about picking out your seat, and then it said debit/credit card. I'm a seasoned traveler. I would never go to a page like that. I was never told to go to a page like that.
Sure. You think they'd make that very clear ahead of time.
They sure made it clear how much I could pay to upgrade to first class a couple of times.
Okay.
So anyway, that's and I've heard from people all across the country who have had similar situations happen. So the advice is, if you buy a ticket on international travel, it seems to be international travel, make sure you take that credit card with you, because you might need it to prove who you are.
But if you could take a picture of the credit card and take that with you. Depending
on who the supervisor is there, that's
nice or not.
Yeah, the other option they give you, by the way, on the Delta website is somebody back home could take it to an airport near them and show it at a Delta counter.
Oh, that's convenient.
Well, 3 o'clock in the morning, there's nobody at the Delta airline counter at SeaTac Airport.
Good point.
But that's their position.
That's crazy. And so has Delta really I mean, because you've asked them, obviously.
No, 3 times. I asked them 3 times. I told them I was doing news stories. I was being interviewed by reporters across the country, and I got crickets. I got the link. And then crickets after that.
That's crazy. Yeah. So bring the card to which you used to get there.
Right.
All right. That's good. But that's only international, you said, maybe.
Right. That seems to be the situation now. And only certain airports, it says, pending on your address was one of the things in that web. I've been at the same address since 1986.
Yeah.
And the same credit card for a couple of years. So I was interviewing my friend Christopher Elliott, who's a syndicated columnist about air travel. He works for USA Today and the Seattle Times and various newspapers.
Sure.
And he said, the airlines are one of the few businesses left where you can actually upset your customers, like piss off people, and it doesn't matter because 80% of the flights are for airlines. They got an oligopoly.
I know.
And it's like, so they can do this kind of thing and not apologize and not care what they're doing.
Yep.
Bad business practice.
We've had it happen. I've mentioned on this podcast, Alaska Airlines, I think it was Christmas Day, or they sent us a note like, an hour or two ahead of time. The flight's canceled. Good luck. See you later. Right. And it's like, and you can't. You have no rights, no power. We talked about.
If you were in Europe, you would have more power because your flight, you probably got compensated, or you should have been, because they have very strict rules.
I don't think so.
You should have been.
They got me on a flight the next day to Vancouver and then to Seattle.
You should have gotten compensated for your inconvenience.
I should have had you there.
You should have told me.
I should have brought you on the trip. All right, a couple other things to talk about, because I get these so many times. I guess my phone number must be all over the dark web or something. But I get all kinds of junk texts inviting me to apply for loans. It's weird, all this stuff.
Yes.
But there's other ones that are trickier than that get people caught up all the time, right?
Your number doesn't have to be on the dark web. They just shoot these out with computers.
I see.
Number 1234,
Good
number
Lord.
1235, number 1236. So there's 2 things going on. There are spam texts going around in volumes that we've never seen before, because people tend to respond many people to texts because it's immediate, it's there, it's in front of you, you're curious, you click a link, and you wind up getting yourself in trouble. One of the ones I reported on, and I think you've gotten, is the one that says you have an unpaid toll somewhere.
Yep, I've got that one.
I've gotten it from all different kind of tolling agencies, and my car hasn't left the state of Washington.
Guess what? You're not buying anything in Pennsylvania.
But they're making a huge amount of money in this with people clicking on a freight, and it says, you have 3 days to respond. If you don't, you can lose your driver's license, And, if you're not sure, go to the website of the tolling agency and see if there's something going on rather than responding to these people. Tolling agency, unless you've signed up for text messages, will never text you or email you. That's only something that criminals will do.
And I read that this is like $1 billion a year, some ridiculous number.
Yeah, they're making a lot of money with this. A lot of it's come from overseas, in Asia. Criminal gangs in Asia are doing this big time. So that's number 1 to worry about. And then number 2 is this phone call. It has been going on for about a year, and it's probably one of the most prolific robocalls I've ever reported on. People have told the Federal Trade Commission that they've gotten between 5, in some cases 5 and 20 of these calls a day, telling them that their loan has been pre-approved, that they didn't ask for, they didn't apply for this loan. There's $150,000 to $180,000 check ready to be cut, but all we need is a couple of final things being done. And, of course, they're asking you to call them and contact them, in which case they'll try to get your banking information or your other personal information, then run loose with committing identity theft. And, again, this thing just will not stop. I've heard the recordings, and it's men and women. They're very friendly. It's not the typical, this is a threat from the... This is like, hey, it's Charlie, and I'm calling from the loan office. They make up a name of a non-bank. And just want to let you know, I was looking at your paperwork, and I didn't want this to fall through the cracks. We got this $150,000 for you. Please call me. It's only going to be good for another 2 or 3 days. So I really want to help you out. Let's get this thing closed. I can't tell if it's really good AI or a human being just recorded the message. It's either way, it doesn't matter. But it's really friendly, and doesn't sound like the scammy call. It sounds like, and they all have the same basic script. They need you to contact them within a couple of days. And people, unfortunately, will fall for this thing, maybe out of just curiosity. Once they get you on, once they get you sucked in, they can...
And smart people, I've read this before, that have gotten sucked into these things.
Smart people are not immune to scams.
Yeah, no, I mean it happens. Right?
It happens.
And so an AI is making this worse, right? Because they know more about you. They can make it more, all those things you just mentioned, to make it more appealing.
Yeah, they can do something. AI can also make it that there's not the language thing anymore. You used to say, if it's a scam text or an email, look for bad grammar and punctuation and spelling errors. No, they just tell AI, this scam is going out to America. Make it English. This is going out to France. Make it French. It's perfect French, English, Japanese, whatever.
Sure.
So that's not a clue anymore. The clue is what the pitch is. The pitch is a loan you never applied for. The pitch is a toll from a place you've never been. You got to stop, and you have to slow down. They're counting on you trying to get it all. Let's get this done and move along. I'll pay a few dollars. Slow down and figure out if it's really something you really, really want to do.
And does it work when I get some of these, and sometimes I type stop on there? Does that doesn't shut it down?
And they don't have do not call lists either.
I know.
Because they say, we'll put you on a list. All that does is tell them you've got a working phone number.
I'm ready to call you again next week.
They're con artists. They don't have a do not call list. They don't care.
Is there any relief that's possible to stop this kind of stuff or not? You just got to be smarter than the con men.
There are a bunch of things going on. There's been the legislation or the rules that require certain things for the phone companies to do, but a new study just came out from U.S. PERG about how many phone companies have not instituted these software programs they were told to do by the FCC a couple of years ago. You can do call filters on your phone, that sort of thing. There are blockers. You can also set up your phone. If you have a phone, a cell phone, you can say, you have to call me twice within 15 minutes for the call to get through, or only on my contact list or something like that. But then if your doctor calls, and they're calling from a cell phone number like doctors do because they're busy, not from the hospital, you're going to miss that call. But my thing is, if you don't recognize the call, do not engage, let it go to voicemail. It gives you time to think and then figure out there's something you want to do. If you don't know the number, it says unknown, let it go to voicemail and figure it out.
Yeah, my problem is I give my number to a lot of people and I don't always know them.
Right.
And I see 425, something like, that might be Joe, it might be your number I know, but other people, and so then I answer.
That's one of the tricks, they spoof phone calls. So they're in China,
of course,
and the area code is 425.
Sure,
so or whatever. So that's sometimes they did one for a while where they had your phone number showed up in the caller ID.
Lord,
because you go, how am I calling myself? Anything to make you engage.
Yeah.
So the rule is, of course, you cannot trust caller ID anymore. You don't know who's calling you. You could say, Bank of America. You could say Citicorp. You could say whatever. They can make the caller ID say that. You cannot trust caller ID anymore. It's very sad.
It is sad. And is the government trying to, if these are overseas operations, are they trying to shut them down stop?
It's hard. And, some of these are supported by the governments and are allowed to do it by the governments because you're taking on America.
Yeah. And you get a piece of the action maybe too.
Right. So you have got to be your own defense now and learn the rules. That you just got to be smart and not react quickly. Don't let them push the buttons. Don't engage if you don't know what it is. Stop, slow down. And for listeners here, if you're not sure about something, contact the AARP Fraud Watch Network. It's a great service. Anybody can call, and you don't have to be an AARP member. They're trained experts, and you can say, I just got a call that said I have this loan or I don't have a loan.
Yep.
And they'll say, oh, we know all about that, and they'll talk to you, or you can go on their website and look up that. But yeah, most of these scams have been around for so long that if you Google it, you will figure out that, I'm not the first person to get this call. This has happened much more.
All right, believe it or not, I was in the store the other day and I saw the big Halloween candy. We're gonna get 2 kids, so I'm not
candy, the Christmas decoration.
I was just getting to that. Right next to it was the Christmas decoration. So I was like, well, I think I'll plan ahead, do the Christmas thing first. Okay, but you used to have a toy thing you did on network talking about that. I love the holidays, right? Because I got kids, I got grandkids. But how can I save a couple bucks this year? Other than just not buying stuff I don't need, I guess. Other than that,
we're going to have an entire Consumerpedia podcast episode dropping in November.
Oh, good.
It's going to talk. It's our annual holiday helper tips on shopping.
Where can they find that?
Consumerpedia.org.
Okay.
So we have a lot of stuff on that. But I'll give you the headlines. This year, because of tariffs, prices will be higher.
Yeah.
It's surprising. I've talked to the experts, and in some cases, the manufacturers or the stores have eaten as much as they can. So it hasn't hurt as much.
They've already reduced their profit, whatever they're going to do.
They pre-ordered. They did a lot of pre-ordering, so
sure.
they did that. But that's going to end sooner or later. The ride's going to end. So
the tariff is going to end.
No, the ride.
The Amazon making less.
Yeah.
That part.
That's going to end after a while.
Lovely.
The other thing is supply may be down. All the holiday stuff comes from China.
Sure.
The trees, the fake trees, and the ornaments, the decorations, and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
The Halloween costumes. There may be a shortage of Christmas of stuff that you want if it's coming over from one of the countries with high tariffs.
So shop early is what you're saying.
If you see something that you really want,
you
gotta have.
Okay.
Shop early and get it, and then if it goes down in price, if you track it and it goes down in price, you can go back to the merchant and say, "Hey, would you like me to refund the difference?" Which a lot of good merchants will do.
They'll do it. And Amazon won't do it.
But a lot of merchants will do it. And I wouldn't know because I don't shop Amazon.
All right, good for you. Yeah.
It's a whole.
That's a whole other podcast on that.
But the other thing is, there's going to be Black Fridays like every week between now and Black Friday.
So there will be a lot of promotions.
A lot of promotions,
okay.
and there's no way to really know which ones are the best because they're running them all over the world. So again, if you see a good price, grab it, and if the price goes down, then try to negotiate. I'd like you to make up the difference.
And what's the hot toy for my 8-year-old grandson?
I don't have the faintest idea.
I was hoping for a little insight here.
I think they're those ugly things you put on your backpack.
Oh, okay.
Those things with the teeth that are just, oh my God.
I think he already has that, so we're going to work a little harder than that. Okay, so before we let you go, checkbook.org, I should say, Herb believes like we do. We want to help everybody, right? We talk to everybody. We help everybody. You do the same thing. You have that same heart of volunteerism, of helping people. Checkbook.org, the best place to go read your stuff on a regular basis.
And we're a nonprofit, so we don't take any advertising from anybody. So we do ratings in 7 major U.S. cities.
Wow.
Seattle, San Francisco.
How are we doing on the ratings?
We don't rate you.
Oh, okay. I was hoping for a positive spin here on this.
San Francisco, Seattle, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Boston, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C.
All right.
And you can get the ratings for those if you're a member, subscriber. But we have information available for everybody out there. And it's, we call it like it is. I mean, we don't say,
love the work.
Somebody's a sponsor and we got to.
Right.
No, we tell it like it is. So that's available to everybody.
So Delta's not going to be sponsoring anything soon, I'm guessing.
Never will be sponsoring.
I guess that'll be that.
And then my stuff is all at ConsumerMan.com, my personal website, which is where all my stories are, the podcast.
You got audio there, too?
I got audio there, and you can sign up for my weekly newsletter, as Tom does, and you'll hear from me every week, and you will know what's going on.
And if you really want to know, then you need to go see your studio with all that stuff in there. It's one of the.
My house?
It's beautiful. I love that place. How's the train looking for this holiday, too, by the way?
Oh, we got all the. I'm a model train collector.
Oh, it's amazing.
We just love our little trains, our little choo-choos.
I think it's fabulous.
I rode the Mount Rainier Railroad, by the way, which is an old railroad.
Maybe I should do that with my grandson.
It's really fun. It's got like a 100-year-old steam engine on it, and it's a lot of fun.
All right. I'm always glad to ride something older than me. That's just so I'm just happy for that. So, hey, it's always great to have you here. We'll do this again soon. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're giving us this information. It's so important, and we wish you nothing but the best in the new year, which is hard to believe, just around the corner, right?
Just around the corner.
Good Lord. I hate to add up all the years behind that for me. So listen, to all of you, you want some more help, go to TalkingRealMoney.com. You can click on Ask a Question, Meet an Advisor, all those things. We're there every day to help you because guess what? We just love being here talking real money.
The opinions and views expressed in this podcast were current on the date recorded. Opinions, estimates, forecasts, and statements of financial market trends that are based on current market conditions constitute our judgment and are subject to change without notice, including any forward-looking estimates or statements which are based on certain expectations and assumptions.
Although information and opinions given have been obtained from or based on sources believed to be reliable, no warranty or representation is made as to their correctness, completeness, or accuracy.
Information presented on the podcast is not personalized investment advice from Appella Wealth. The views and strategies described may not be suitable for everyone. This podcast does not identify all the risks, direct or indirect, or other considerations which might be material to you when entering any financial transaction. Past performance does not guarantee future results, and profitable results cannot be guaranteed. We hope you realize that the information provided on Talking Real Money is for informational, educational, and hopefully enjoyable purposes only. The podcast is not trying to get you to buy or sell any financial products or securities. Instead, the program is provided as a public service by Appella Wealth, a fee-only registered investment advisor.
Please see Appella Wealth's ADV Part 2A on our website for information regarding Appella's fees and services.
Appella Capital, LLC, DBA Appella Wealth, is an investment advisory firm registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission. The firm only transacts business in the states where it is properly registered or excluded or exempt from registration requirements. Registration with the SEC or any state securities authority does not imply a certain level of skill or training. Appella does not provide tax or legal advice, and nothing either stated or implied here should be inferred as providing such advice. Thanks for listening, and please visit TalkingRealMoney.com for more information and important disclosure related to performance of any specific index or fund quoted in this podcast. I think I need a nap.